Hey guys, it's Elizabeth. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am talking about imagination and creating imaginal scenes to help you get what you want. Imagination is key to all things spiritual. So many spiritual modalities and concepts stem from the imagination. So when you're talking about intuition, energy, reality creation, and anything really that comes from the spiritual realm or spiritual abilities, it all stems in the imagination. One of the first things I wanted to accomplish when I started opening up and had my spiritual awakening and started opening up was this intention to develop my own intuition, psychic, and mediumship abilities because I wanted to help people with it. And I was watching and listening to this psychic radio show, and people would call in. I was like amazed with the information that was coming through and resonating with these callers. And I wanted to have a piece of that too. I wanted to be able to learn how they were doing it. And what I found when I developed my own psychic and skills and my mediumship abilities and my intuition, which is where my YouTube channel started, and I still talk about intuition. I still teach intuition. And if you go down my video playlist, you'll see tons and tons of exercises there. I have an intuition course on my website, and I do intuition challenges every so often, and it's still like my focus. My Wednesday workshop, which by the way you're invited to, check that out in the description. I focus on that because it's the building block. But all of that stuff, when you're tuning into psychic, intuition, mediumship, all of those things, the information comes to you usually in your imagination. And then when I started getting into manifestation more, and like I said, they kind of built together with me. I use manifestation techniques to develop those psychic skills. I realized that also focused on imagination. And the more and more I deal with this, teach it, learn it, live it, I realized that all things come back to the imagination. It's so powerful. And so in this video, I want to share with you ways that you can do more with your imagination, develop it more to work for you. All right, so what I have found works amazing for both intuition and manifestation is that vivid imagination. So the more you practice imagining things, the better you're going to get. You can practice by just laying down, relaxing, and calling something into your imagination. Say it's an apple. Go into your mind's eye or your imagination, close your eyes, relax, and call up an apple. And then I want you to, in your imagination, pick it up and feel that apple. What does it feel like? And then you'll pick it up and look at it in your hands, imagining it. Remember, this is in your imagination. And really take a look. Turn it around. Look at all the sides and know anything at all about that apple. Note the color. Know any imperfections on it or changes in color. What does the stem look like? What does the bottom look like? Take a bite out of the apple. How does it sound? Look at it again. What does that look like now that you took a bite out of? What does it feel like in your mouth when you're chewing the apple? What does it taste like? Take it out of your mouth and smell it. What does it smell like? Imagine yourself throwing it away. What did that feel like in your hand, and did it make a sound? So you are able to pull all your senses together within your imagination to practice. And the more and more you practice imagining things, the more vivid you are in creating those imaginal scenes when you get there. And you don't have to do it with the apple. You could practice with anything. You can practice with an imaginary animal, a pet, a scene. You can imagine yourself on a beach and laying down and taking a stroll through the water and feeling the wind on your face. Really anything. And the more and more you practice with it, like I said, the better you're going to get imagining. And then this is actually going to help you twofold. So if you are working on building your intuition and your psychic or mediumship or any of those types of abilities, when you are tapping into your intuition, tuning into your intuition, you're going to notice how much more intense the information is coming through. You're going to be able to catch on to it more. As most of you know, if you've been working with me for a while and watching my videos, intuition or psychic information is coming in little glimpses. And sometimes they're really hard to hold on to. You might have a glimpse of, like, let's say a leaf floating past you. And you're like, oh, wait, what was that? Go slow. Show me intuition. Show me again. And you might not be able to catch on to it. But the more you practice with your imagination, the better and more and easier it's going to be to catch those glimpses that are coming through in that way. But from a manifestation perspective, when you are practicing your imagination, when it comes time to actually sit down and do the visualization in your imagination, the scenes are going to be more vivid and you'll be able to call in more of your senses, which is going to help you get there faster. So the first concept about visualization that's really important is you want to visualize the end result. So let's say your intention is to manifest a new living space. Number one, be very clear about what you want. That may require some journaling or just some everyday thinking about what that is. Do you want to live in a condo? Do you want to live in an apartment? Is that a high rise or a regular apartment? Do you want to live in a house in a particular neighborhood, or do you want to live in a duplex? So define what it is you actually want. And if you don't know what you want, but you know you need a new living arrangement, ask your intuition. And this is where another example of how intuition is so important for materialization, and this is why I'm still so focused on teaching intuition. Ask your intuition to show you what is the best living arrangement for myself. Tap in, tune in, or just ask your intuition to show you and help you define, set that intention, and you will see how that shows up. So once you've defined what you want, start building that end scene. And I always say it should be a very short scene, 3 to 5 seconds long, because when you visualize, you're going to visualize that scene over and over again. And you don't want it too long, because then your mind starts to wander or it gets too complicated. And just that end scene, like I said, 3 to 5 seconds. So you could imagine yourself waking up in the bed, getting up, walking over to the closet, picking out the outfit, and just take in everything around you, the feeling. What does it feel like when you pick it up? Or what does it feel like when you're laying in that bed? Or you can imagine waking up and making breakfast in the kitchen that's at that new location. You can imagine yourself getting up and going out and walking to the mailbox. Where's that mailbox? What is that? And you'll imagine it over and over again. Just that 3 to 5 second scene, or talking to your partner in the new space about how much you love it. You know, oh, I love our new house. Or this pantry is awesome. I'm so happy we bought this house. Something like that. And building in lots of different layers to that imaginal scene is really helpful. So if you are, let's say, talking to your partner about the pantry that you love, imagine yourself going in, holding on to like a cupboard door and opening it, and what do you see? So you're imagining the feeling, you're incorporating the auditory piece with the conversation with your partner, or your dog comes up and wags you and you could feel the tail come across your leg and hear the dog barking or breathing heavy or lapping up water or food that's in that kitchen. And so if you take some time before you start imagining it to build your scene, you can more easily gather all of those different layers of senses. And then when you go to actually lay down and visualize, and sometimes I'm not laying down and like closing and having actual visualization time. I'm just like, when I think about it, I just run it in like my imagination while I'm doing something else. And that's perfectly fine too. But the more you prepare up front, the better that visualization is going to be because you've already added in the layer. But let your intuition help you. Sometimes when you've been visualizing for a while, your visualization gets clarified based on your intuition. So if you're having some thoughts about whatever scene you come up with, and your intuition is sort of giving you a feeling or it's showing you something else, sometimes something just randomly shows up, go with it. That's your intuition speaking to you and helping you. In reality transurfing, this is called building a slide. I call it an imaginal act. There are lots and lots of different names, but if you follow reality transurfing, you may be familiar with that slide. And then make sure you actually spend time visualizing it, right? That's the key. And what I found is when something is really, really in the forefront, you really, really want it, and there's a lot of importance up front, which will call in balancing forces, and that used to scare me, but that's okay. Go with it. If you really want something, just keep visualizing it, and eventually you're going to start to get bored of that visualization, which is going to reel in all of those feelings of like, oh, importance, I have to have this, because eventually you're going to get bored. You're living it, right? Every time you imagine it, you're living it. You're bringing in all those feelings. You still want it. It feels good when you're living it, but it gets kind of boring. And that's a good sign. When you're bored of it, just keep visualizing, and eventually you're going to feel like you don't have to visualize anymore. And that's okay. That's a sign that it's all working for you. So make sure you're visualizing periodically. There's no set time limit that you have to be doing it. You got to do it 10 minutes, 5 times a day or whatever. But whenever you feel like visualizing, make sure you're doing it. I always do it before I go to bed as I'm falling asleep. I run that slide, that imaginal act over and over again until I, don't have any consciousness anymore because I'm asleep. But some nights it may be I try to start visualizing, but I'm so tired and I really don't even get through the scene once, or I don't remember getting through the scene. Or sometimes it might be a couple minutes. Usually I'm pretty tired when I go to bed, so I don't know how many times I get to do it, but I like to get through it at least a couple times every day. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Put all your questions in the comments. I'd love to see. And also, if you are working on developing your imagination skills or have any questions, I'd love to see your comments. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up so I know to post more like it. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to be notified whenever I post new videos. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you actually do get notified. And again, and if you are interested in working with your intuition, I do have a course that's listed in the description that I think you'll find really helpful, because intuition really is the building block for manifestation. So I work with them together. All right, it was so good to be with you today. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll catch you in the next video.